It's time! Will Turner leave or stay? Debate between Grant and Zay.
Pacer Nation, this is Grant and
Zay, what's up, y'all? How we?
yeah, I'm gonna hop in with my first point. All
Okay,
right.
okay. So you have the
So,
argument to stay in Indy. Go ahead.
my first argument of why he was staying Indy is the familiarity with the city, the team, uh, the
Okay.
players, the organization, all as a
Yeah.
whole. I
Yeah.
mean, it is something nice to be like, oh, my favorite spot to eat is over here.
Sure.
My means a lot. And, you go in, hey, trainer, that's Bob I've worked with for 10 years and
Yeah.
all that type of thing.
Yeah.
And with
The
the
staff,
team,
the coaching staff.
yeah, yeah. And with the team, everything's like familiar. He has a pretty good reason to believe that he's going to continue to play at the level he's playing at with his current team.
Mm,
But if you switch to another team, things change. Even though it's LeBron and Luca, who knows?
right.
All-time players get traded, don't fit well, and all of a sudden all his stats drop, everything drops, and maybe he gets cut in 2 years, type of
Yeah.
thing.
I would say familiarity is a good point. I think he seems like a type of guy to want to be in the know with things. I don't think he seems like. I mean, he's been in Indy for 10 years. I feel like if he wanted to be in these flashing lights, he probably would have made a bigger push or demanded a trade. But it seems like he didn't. So that's a good point. I'm not mad at that. I don't think it's like the most solid, but I see it. Like I understand it. So my first point would be cha-ching money. Duh. We are hesitant. The Pacers organization is hesitant to give him what he wants, which is $30 million a year. I think there are many organizations that could up that by at least 5 or 10 mil. Give him 40. It's been confirmed that the Lakers have asked for Miles Turner more than any other team. That's a fact. Okay. So I mean, if we're being hesitant and other teams are going, look, man, we'll pay you. What? I mean, why? I would say why would you stay? But for a purely monetary, business wise, it makes no sense to stay. It makes no sense business wise, monetary
So,
wise to stay. What do you think?
so I'll give you a kudos on one thing I definitely agree with is the business stance. However, you have a
Yeah,
lot more opportunities in Los Angeles to
yeah.
make money and do big things than you do in Indiana. I would
Millions
I would definitely give you, but
sponsored.
I will say that is very short term in the sense of as you're playing for the Lakers, yes, players care, or, fans and people care about you.
Right.
As soon as Turner is gone from the Lakers, he's a forgotten piece. He's not
Yeah,
like AD, LeBron, Kobe, where like, oh, always remember, always love
yeah.
you. He's just kind of forgotten piece. Indiana, he stays there after his career is over. He's
He's a
loved
legend.
forever.
He's a
Yeah,
legend.
he's like he doesn't
I
even need
agree.
to like he doesn't even need to like win a championship or
No,
anything. Like
he'll
he
be a
is
Reggie Miller.
automatically,
He'll
he's
be a Reggie Miller.
automatically a legend, holds
Yeah.
all these stats. And I do think this may not be the biggest reason type of thing, but I do think it is something he might consider too is
Yeah.
he's like the team leader in like blocks and like some I think he's like fifth in
Stats all over
points
the
or something
place.
like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think the longer you stay here and the more you move up
You'll
there or
solidify.
wherever, you're always talked about. So it's like when we
Yes.
got that new center come in who's like,
Yes.
oh, he's second. The only
Yeah.
player he's behind is Miles Turner. And you
Yeah.
keep getting your name said, the more, you kind of
Yeah. I think
are
if he
ingrained there.
stays, if he stays, he kind of gets closer to that Reggie Miller kind of value, like viewing eyes and away from that like Paul George, where a lot of our local
Facts.
fans kind of have these mixed feelings. So I think that it depends on how he personally weighs that. I don't know, but
Yeah.
anyway, that's So is it my point or your point? Okay, I forgot.
You can start with your second point and I'll
Okay,
rebuttal with
so
mine.
my second point, and man, this is a good one.
Okay.
This is a
Okay.
good one. My second point, he could ring chase. Why would he not? He is literally in his prime. Teams want him. Confirmed. The best teams in the league are interested in this center. Okay? The best teams. Why would he not join a contender that's going to win in these next 3 years? Because he'd have to sign a minimum of 3 years. And why would he not join one of these teams? Or why would he not? I mean, you tell me why he wouldn't want to go to the Lakers, Golden State Warriors, Thunder, or Nuggets. Now, I don't know exactly everybody's cap space, but you make me an argument that these teams aren't interested and wouldn't pay him more than $30 million, at least more. So why would he not want to win a ring? He's been in the league. Why would he not want to win a league? If he's hot right now. What do you think?
So I agree with you there, and actually, my second point is a great rebuttal to that point. Is
Okay.
we're competitive in winning.
Yeah.
It's very easy to leave the team that hasn't made the playoffs or is getting knocked out in the first round, which we have been, however. When you finally go to the Eastern Conference Finals, however, all those teams you just named, they didn't get there last year.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Maybe
close.
the Thunder did. I think the Thunder got to the Western Conference
close.
Final.
Yeah.
Yeah. But they did. A lot of these teams didn't get there, and it looks like we're still on the brink. I mean, in 2025, when everybody's healthy and stuff, we've had the best record in the NBA, and like impressively, I think besides the 2 games we've lost
in January for sure.
Yeah, in January, besides the 2 games we lost in January, the rest of the games we won by like 10 or more points.
Yeah.
So like you are in a very competitive place, and
we also lost those games by 10 or more points.
But you add to the competitiveness of if you're ring chasing, I would make the argument it would be easier to get a ring for his certain situation in Indiana just because how stacked the West is.
Yes, that's a counter. That's the best counter of that.
And imagine if you're Turner, and I don't know if he's thinking this deep, but if you're really thinking it through or whatever, when the playoff series comes against Jokic, you're getting smoked.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. But I mean, look, why wouldn't not maybe the Cavs because they have a lot of big men, but obviously even the Celtics probably don't need a Turner, but like the Sixers could use a Turner. Orlando could use a Turner. You know what I mean?
I think if he is gonna leave, it's gonna be for West Coast team.
The West.
Because that is
we have our reasons.
Yeah, that's a completely different change of like scenery, different lifestyle.
But
and like
my point though is contending. You know what I mean?
I think we are contending, and I think you can make an argument, even with the Lakers getting Luka. I think you can make an argument it's an easier path for the Pacers to get to the finals than the Lakers to get to the finals.
Yes. Let's go to the next point to keep it moving.
Dude,
what you got? What's next, man?
My next point, I'm going to bottle 2 in 1. So my third point was he's appreciated. My fourth point was organization has never been shady in trade talks. I mean that like with the Lucas situation that just happened or whatever, that like came out, pretty left field type of thing. But there's a lot of other examples of players who are like playing well, and then all of a sudden they're on like the trade block, type of thing.
Right.
And Turner always like knows that's coming. He's never like come out and said like, "What, really?" type of thing. Like,
no, 100%.
I think he is very aware of why he's in those, and why he's in those trade talks.
In a good way, he's valuable.
Exactly.
Yeah,
he's valuable enough to like listen to offers, but he's not valuable enough to like build your team around.
Okay.
And I really do think he understands that and is like not hurt by it. Plus, I think it's a lot easier to that like, oh, I got traded to LA. All right, cool. Than deciding to go to LA.
Okay. Well, I have a great counter for that. Well, my point is he is underappreciated. Now, if we're looking in the last year or two, whole lot of appreciation. He's been on this team for 10 years. You and I both know that it's not 10 beautiful years, So what I put here is he's been at times even the scapegoat of our organization. We're doing bad, it's Miles Turner. Before we had Halliburton, well, what's going on, man? We've had Turner for all this time. He's soft. He's not getting rebounds. We don't like his play style has been criticized. You look at any fan board, get Miles Turner out of here. We can get any. Things have been great recently, and he's been at his prime. But there's been a lot of hate, and you gotta say, even though he's been very professional about it, put yourself in those shoes. You read the comments. You look at these things. I'm sure all these guys do. Imagine your team's attacking you. Or maybe you feel attacked, So, basically he's had a love-hate relationship, or maybe he hasn't, but the fans have, and, have had a love-hate relationship. So he's been underappreciated at times. I even added in this point, Not in his last couple of years. He's been very loved. But there's been times, though, man. What do you think?
No, I'll definitely give you that. It could be very wearing to hear your name in trade talks all the time, to hear fans bitch about what you can't do and not like praise you for like what you can do. And it has been a lot of, we appreciate you now that we're winning and you're in like the right situation.
Forget about that old stuff what we said.
Yeah, no, I can understand that like chip on your shoulder type of thing.
You might have a little feelings held back.
Yeah, my counter to that would be is Turner isn't like a Ant or like Benedict Mathurin, who I would really think would take that to like heart and like forever. Like, yeah, like you didn't want me, I'll show you. I don't think Turner is like that at all. So that's why I think I can't speak for the man, but I think he may be able to just, hey, they're loving me now. Things are good.
Right.
I think they kind of like not learn their lesson, but like learn their lesson type of thing. Whereas a lot of other players, I for sure would be like, they're never letting it go. Like if
at the end of the day, though, we're just speculating. We don't know how he feels.
No.
Maybe he could be like, man, y'all treated me like dirt. We have no idea how he feels. I think you're right. I think you're right, but we just don't know.
Yeah. No, like I would say in like a player like Benedict Mathurin, if that happened to him for like 3 years, he's gone.
Yeah, like, I mean, right. Yeah,
like, we're not having this debate. He's gone.
He's gone. He's going to look for a way out.
Turner is a very much more chill player, and we've talked a lot on the podcast before of like to fit well in Indiana, you got to be cool with like being humble, being in that small town.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Not
no player's bigger than the other, even though we have clearly, but everybody's like at an even thing, ego-wise.
And you got to be like cool with that, and that's why I think like Turner works so well. Is because he is like that. You know what I'm saying?
Fully agree.
Like Halliburton is into like WWE. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like he's not into like I'm a host this huge party and do all this crazy stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like
he's been dating the same girl since college, just cute little white girl, and you know what I mean? Like
exactly, dude. Like if you're a player, you're not going to want to stay in Indiana. Like a player in like the dating field.
Right. If you're like, if you have an ego, which some of these guys deserve to have an ego. You don't think KD deserves an ego? You know what I mean? Like they're going to want to fulfill that. I don't know. I think you hit the nail on the head. Did you have any more points? I got one more. I don't know if you had.
Hit me with your one more.
Okay. So I got one more. And again, it's when we fuse together. So it's very simple. A change of scenery. You've been on the same team for 10 years, a decade. It's Indiana at all places. We're in the middle. We're the most Midwest team. And what we have, what's Indy? I'm from Indy. I am from Indy. There is not a lot of shit to do. There's not a lot. Imagine being a millionaire. What do you even spend your money on? You spend on your money on vacation to get out of Indy. You know what I mean? So like, a change of scenery, man. I haven't worked a job for 10 years. I mean, the most I've done is 5, and you get an itch after 5. I mean, it's just a natural feeling. That, and plus, Miles Turner loves Legos. He loves Legolands. He loves cats. He's a nerd. You know what I mean? Who wouldn't want to go to LA with the biggest Legoland in the nation? You know what I mean? We got all these little nerdy stuff. It's like it's calling his name almost. Like I don't think it's wrong for a guy all inside to go, I'm just trying to get out of here, man. I wouldn't be mad at that. I'd be upset, but I wouldn't be mad at that because I think we can all relate to that.
So I will say that point is the point that scares me the most because even if all the other points I just gave, he could be 100%. Yeah, that's exactly how I feel.
Yeah.
But even if you're happy where you are, things are working well, blah, blah, he's appreciated, all this stuff.
Yeah.
You can still feel like it'd be fun to just do something different. I've never tried something different before. Blah, blah. Like, I mean, I've only been at my current job for like 2 years, but if like another job like offered me something and like, yeah, you can like move here and have just like a slight bit more money. Yeah, I'd want to be comfortable, but like I would definitely think about it might just be fun. Like,
okay, look at it. Look at
a life memory. And being a Laker does mean something.
It means something.